Buenos días, buen dia, good morning, good afternoon to everybody joining us today from the Americas. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you for your interest for British Council Scholarships for Women in STEM. It's a program we're very excited about. And just to get the enthusiasm up, I would like to share with you a video that we have developed here in the region, especially for all of you that are thinking about applying to the scholarship.
Si eres mujer,
Se você é mulher,
si eres madre,
se você é mãe,
si eres hija,
si eres hermana,
si eres valiente,
se você é inteligente
e autêntica,
si eres perseverante,
si eres apasionada,
si eres rebelde,
si te gustan los retos,
se você quebra os estereótipos,
si eres de las que persiguen sus sueños
hasta cumplirlos, si eres de Colombia, de México,
do Brasil,
de Cuba,
si eres de Perú,
de Argentina,
se você é da Jamaica
o de Venezuela,
se você é pesquisadora,
si eres ingeniera,
si lo tuyo es la tecnología,
se você gosta de ciências,
o los números,
if you speak English,
o estás estudiando para mejorar tu nivel en este idioma,
si quieres estudiar una maestría,
mas não tem os recursos para isso,
this message is for you.
esta invitación es para ti.
Aplica a las becas para mujeres en STEM del British Council.
aplique para as bolsas do British Council para mulheres na área de STEM,
date la oportunidad
De viajar,
conocer,
aprender,
de co-crear,
trocar ideias,
Contribuir,
emprender,
crear lazos.
de liderar.
Eu tive a oportunidade de estudar no Reino Unido
And now I invite you to take this opportunity.
e lá você terá uma experiência inesquecível.
Si yo pude hacerlo, tú puedes hacerlo también.
Hoy es el día.
Sem mais desculpas.
sigue,
continúa,
Avanza,
Aplica,
aplique,
aplica,
aplica.
Inscreva-se.
Tienes hasta finales de marzo.
cheque o site do British Council para mais detalhes.
Women
in
in
STEM.
STEM. STEM has no limits.
Well, I hope you liked the video. And to move on, today is our fourth and final day that we have question and answers with our universities. Today with us, we're going to have University of Durham and University of Cranfield. Before going on and leaving the universities to speak to you and give their presentations, I'm going to give a short overview of the whole scholarship. So first of all, this scholarship is possible thanks to the partnership British Council has developed with 19 universities from the UK. We will be able to give more than 100 women the opportunity of studying their master's degree with us in Great Britain. Who are we looking for? Well, we're looking for women that already have a degree in science, either in technology, engineering, mathematics, and are wishing to also become a leader inside of their own countries to be able to inspire other women and girls to continue STEM careers. Next slide, please. The scholarship is available in 3 regions, in East Asia, in South Asia, and in the Americas. Today's presentation is going to be specifically for the Americas, and the sessions that we have been holding are with universities from this region. So what are we offering in our scholarship? This is a very generous scholarship and with a very good package. Many questions have been coming through asking about what scholars would have to pay for, or basically they wouldn't have to pay for anything. It is considered a full scholarship. It pays tuition fees It also it also includes a stipend for 15 months, which is usually the duration that you would have to be in the UK. And the stipend is enough not only for your general expenses, but also for your accommodation, for instance. The scholarship also takes into account those women that don't have the exact English level that they might require in order to do a master's program. Therefore, we have also considered pre-sessional English courses at the universities or online just to make sure that you reach that level. The scholarship also covers for your ticket, your plane ticket from your home country to the UK and back. It can also cover any expenses related to an official English exam, for instance, that you may have to take once you are pre-selected, and also support you paying for the visa and a passport, for instance. One of the unique characteristics of the benefits that we are offering is that it also is available for mothers that wish to travel with their children, for instance, and therefore there's an extra payment for those of you that are going to be traveling with your dependents. Regarding the eligibility criteria, they are pretty simple. Actually, that would be going over them quickly. One of them is that we require you to be a woman. You have to be a citizen and also a permanent resident of one of the eligible countries that are participating in the scholarship. You have to have you have to apply to one of the master's degrees available in the scheme, and you also must have completed an your undergrad studies that would allow you to apply to one of the masters. Next slide, please. Additionally, one of the conditions is that you haven't studied already a degree or lived recently in the UK. You have to have an English level enough to make a master's degree, or that you would be able to meet this expected level after the pre-sessional course that universities will be offering. You also have to demonstrate the financial need to be able to study the financial need that you need the scholarship in order to be able to study in the UK. And you also have to commit to return to your home country after the scholarship has ended, so you can continue to become an ambassador of STEM among women and girls. Very simply, what wouldn't allow you to apply to the scholarship? Well, you wouldn't be able to apply if you have the dual citizenship, so that you already have if you are a British citizen. You can't apply if you're an employee, a former employee, or a relative, for instance, of anybody that works for Her Majesty's government, or also if they work for the British Council. You can't apply if you are already receiving a financial support from the UK, and if you have previously studied in the UK with support from the government, you would not be able to apply either. I would like to explain very briefly what the scholarship looks like in the Americas. These are the 8 countries that are participating in the scheme. These are Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Cuba, Jamaica, Mexico, Peru, and Venezuela. And the universities that you would be allowed to apply to are Imperial College London, Bangor University, Cranfield University, Durham University, Robert Gordon University, University of York, University of Bristol, and Wolverhampton University. So, what do you need to do to apply? Well, the most important aspect of applying is to, first of all, visit the website, our website, the British Council one, which has information not only regarding the scholarship in general, but also has the links available to each one of the universities participating in this scheme. It is very important that you go to the website of the university that you're interested in attending to see the exact courses that they are offering through this scheme. It is really important to point out that the requirements to apply may differ from one university to another. That's why it's so important that you can check the exact requirements that they are asking for. It is also important to check very well the closing date of each course and university, because they might be different in some occasions. Some faculties are needing to close the to receive proposals before others, so they might be closing at different dates. Throughout this week, we have been holding different webinars of Q&As with all of the universities participating in the Americas. So on Monday, for instance, we had Imperial College and Bangor. On Tuesday, we had Bristol and Wolverhampton University. Yesterday, we had the University of York and Robert Gordon University. And today, we're going to have Durham and Cranfield. Now, many of you might not have been able to attend any of the previous Q&As, but we have all the recordings on our YouTube site and also on our site, the Americas site of the British Council. You can see the web page right now in your screen. So we invite you to be able to go back to those, you can go back to those Q&As that have been recorded. And many questions, and they were very interesting. And our representatives from the university were able to explain very thoroughly the conditions and explain more about the cities. So I invite you to be able to see all of those videos. So now I would like to leave you with the University of Durham. Today we have Ana Maria Costea with us. She is the International Officer of the University. And we also have with us Kate Brennan. She's the International Recruitment Manager of the University. So thank you so much for joining us. And I leave the floor to both of you right now.
Thank you very much, Trinidad, and hello everyone. We are very excited to be here and telling you a bit more about our university today. I have been a student myself at Durham, so I can always talk to you about my experience as well. And we're going to cover some things today on the next slide. But if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to get in touch with us, and you'll have more contact details at the end as well. So I'm just going to briefly touch on where we are situated, the rankings, what is unique about Durham, what eligible courses we have for this particular scholarship, and what entry requirements we have. So in the next slide, in terms of location, we are in the northeast of England, and we are only about 12 minutes by train from Newcastle, which is quite a big city, and you have an international airport there as well. We are only 3 hours by train from London on the main train line, so you'll be able to go and explore the country as well. As for Durham, we are a very small city, a very green place as well, and we have very beautiful nearby countrysides. We also have the beaches of the North Sea, so it's quite a really lovely place to live in. Durham University is the third oldest university in England, and we also have UNESCO World Heritage Sites here on our doorstep. So you can see in this photo, we have Durham Cathedral, which is quite a landmark in our city, but also a landmark in your student journey, because you start your studies with a ceremony in the cathedral and you end your studies with a ceremony in the cathedral. So that's quite a very nice experience to have. Opposite the cathedral, you can see a castle, and that's actually one of our colleges. So we have 17 colleges of residence, and Kate will explain a bit more about that in a second. We have about 60,000 locals in Durham and 20,000 students, so it's pretty much a student city. And over 30% of these students are international. We have students from over 130 countries, so don't feel like you'll come here and you'll only meet UK students. In the next slide, you'll see some photos from the actual city. So you can see, the medieval streets, the nice cafes, bars, restaurants. It's very nice to have a walk along the river. And like I mentioned, it's a very green city. In the next slide, you'll see photos from actual events that are happening in Durham. So even though Durham is so small, it's always lively. There is always something going on, including Christmas markets, rowing competition, or even our Lumiere Light Festival, as you can see in those photos. So now I'll be talking a bit more about our reputation. You might know that Durham University is a world top 100 in the world. And we are classed as 4th in the UK, judging by the Guardian University Guide. There are many guides out there, but overall, over 90% of our degrees are classed as top 10 in the UK. We are a Russell Group university, which means we are very research intensive, and our quality of teaching is classed as gold. So you'll be taught by renowned world leaders in the field, and you'll have a chance to not only be taught by them, but also collaborate with them on projects and, be in a very small teaching environment, which I really like when I was a student here. We're also first in the UK for team sports. So a lot of our students play a sport, either at college level or university-wide level. But there are all sorts of societies you can get involved in, including theater, music, all sorts of academic societies or very silly societies. I was in the Random Acts of Kindness Society and Latin social dancing, so there's always something to get involved in. As of a month or so ago, we were classed as the 25th in the world most international university. So just going back to that international student body, just showing that we do have good links with other universities on the globe as well. And also, if you graduate and you get a degree from Durham, you'll be very popular with employers. We are top 40 globally for employer reputation. So I'll just pass now on to my colleague Kate, who will tell you about why we are unique and how we are different from other UK universities.
Thank you, Anna. That was a great introduction to Durham. So I'm going to talk about our college system, which is a really big part of this package that you're going to be eligible for if you receive the scholarship. So our college system, it makes us a little bit different in terms of the universities in the UK. We are collegiate. And this means that you will be part of a smaller community in the wider Durham student population. So we have 17 colleges, but as part of this scholarship, 3 of those colleges came forward and really were very passionate about being part of this and really working on gender equality, and they thought this scholarship was fantastic. And those are Hatfield College, Trevelyan College, and Euston. They will be part of your social experience at Durham, and they will also form a huge part of your support as well. On the next slide, you will see one of these colleges. So this is Euston. And the really important point here is if you're watching this presentation and you have a dependent child with you and you're looking for a scholarship that includes family support, we will offer this. In Euston College, there is a place called Keenan House, and they give family support to students just like you. So we're able to accommodate you, help you with all different things from visas to your school placements, for example, for children. Now, your college will include the traditions that you can kind of imagine from quite a traditional university. So those will be gown formal dinners in some, but we will also do things like careers events. There are common rooms, so a senior common room for the postgraduate students. And this is where you can meet with peers, you can mix, network. That's going to be really important as part of this scholarship. You will develop your personal skills, soft skills, and lots of different social events, as I mentioned just before, are involved in college, such as balls, concerts, college days. And then you will also have all of the facilities that you could possibly need, including gym, library, bars, cafes, and social spaces where you can all meet together and kind of mix as well. But the most important part of college is really going to be that personal support, that pastoral support that you have. So you will have welfare teams and a mentor that you're able to go to as part of college. Next slide, please. So these are just some photographs that we have showing a shared facility, a kitchen area, and a typical study bedroom, and then obviously all of the events that we're able to put on too. I'm going to talk to you quickly about the eligible courses that we have. So we've got MSc Electronic and Electrical Engineering, New and Renewable Energy, and our Master of Data Science. So this is our first course. We have a QR code there, and if you wish to hold your phone up to the screen, you're able to go to the website directly. This is a course for students with an engineering background and usually with experience in electronic and or electrical engineering. It's a really in-depth theory and practical in the field. We've got some great new innovative facilities such as the Smart Grids Lab that we use. And that is available to students, not just researchers and academic members of staff. So you will be able to use that for projects. We've got world-leading research, and one of the great things, being a very research-intensive university, is that you will be able to work one-on-one with a world-leading academic on a real unsolved engineering problem for your final project. So this is not something that comes around very often, but something that you should definitely go for if you're qualified. New and renewable energy is slightly different. So this is one of the very popular areas and courses that we have in engineering. And it actually welcomes engineers of all different backgrounds. So if you're a mechanical engineer, a civil engineer, even an electrical engineer who wants to move into energy, then please get in touch with us and make an application. This is a key area of development worldwide. We're linked into UN goals, the sustainability goals that they have, and also government objectives for all of your countries. This means that job creation has been made in this area. It's increased in the UK and also overseas, so it's a great opportunity. And finally, our Master of Data Science. This is actually a conversion course and is able to take students from a non-science background who want to continue their career into the STEM field. So the Master of Data Science will allow you to progress, and it's important for graduates who wish to pivot and who have seen opportunities develop and want to kind of go into science fields now. We're seeing quite a bit of movement in that area, and that's fantastic for us. It's an interdisciplinary course. It involves different departments across the science faculty, so computer science and mathematical sciences, as you can imagine, but also other areas as well. And it gives a really large number of varied graduate opportunities, so your career can go in many different pathways after your graduation. In terms of employability, for engineering graduates, we just put the kind of percentage on there for those, and that's 94% are in graduate level paid employment, so not just any job, but a real career kind of role, 6 months after graduation if they haven't gone into further study. So some of them do go on to PhD with us as well. We have industrial partnerships committees and advisory boards that help us to be really good at employability. These allow us to have industrial tutors who will do seminars with us. And one of the opportunities with this scholarship is that we've asked Durham Energy Institute to allow us to do networking with them and with all of their huge number of companies and organizations that they work with, and even to get small internships and different opportunities with companies to really give you employability through your course, as well as the links and all of the support that you'll get after. We are recognised and accredited by all of the UK engineering bodies, and that's important because they are recognised internationally as well. And we also work with very well-known names like Rolls-Royce, Siemens, Ørsted, which is a massive wind energy provider in the world, and also BP, or British Petroleum. So the facilities, I'll just very quickly run through these. Clean rooms are very high-tech facilities. As you can tell by the photograph, people have to actually wear full body suits to go into them. These are state-of-the-art laboratories, and they allow us to build very small nanotechnology devices. And it has to be an environment that is not contaminated by anything like dust particles. Those are open to all of our postgraduate students. On the computing side, we host more than one supercomputer at Durham University and have made an investment of 4.3 million in our computing resources as well. This is really important for data science students, and they're demanding final year project that needs a lot of computer power. For the new and renewable side, we have a large wind tunnel which features a pioneering active turbines generator system that allows gusts of wind to be created, and this allows us to look at the performance of cars and also blades of wind turbines in real world conditions. Finally, entry requirements. You will be asked to have successfully completed your undergraduate degree prior to applying to this scholarship. And there are various overall marks and GPAs depending on your country. Please get in touch with us for any inquiries. And we will need to see English language, so an IELTS test or equivalent. And that gives you in the table there the direct entry, or also the entry with a 6-week or 10-week pre-sessional program.
Thank you very much, Kate. So just quickly in terms of how you're supposed to apply, I know Trinidad has touched on this, and we'll share the link where you can find all this information for Durham. But the first step you'll need to take is to submit an academic application for one of these eligible programs that Kate presented by midnight 5th of April this year. And then if you check the eligibility criteria and you decide to apply, you'll need to complete a scholarship application form as well that is available on our website, and that needs to be sent to us by midnight 5th of April as well. Next slide. If you're watching this and you're thinking that these eligible programs are not really do not apply to you, or you think you're not eligible, please get in touch with us and we can point you in the right direction for other scholarships. And then on the following slide, you can see some resources. So again, please get in touch with us if you have any sort of questions. And I would encourage you to also follow us on Instagram, just to kind of get a feel of how life is like here, how student life is like as well. And on the next slide, you can see our contact details. So both of our emails. We'll also share a chat, how to sign up for an informal chat with me. And you can also talk with current students on our Unibuddy platform as well. And we also have a Durham University Latin American Society, so you can get in touch with them as well. So I think we're very happy to answer any questions at the end. That we will have a Q&A at the end. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ana Maria and Kate. It's been a fantastic presentation to have more details about Durham and living in the university. I did want to remind everyone what Ana Maria was just mentioning, that at the end of both presentations, we will have a short session of Q&A. I've seen many interesting questions already there, so don't worry, I'm reading them and I will address them at the end of both presentations. So now I will present you to Sandra Santos da Silva and Dr. Jill Drew, both of them from Cranfield University. So Sandra is the International Development Manager, and Dr. Jill Drew is the Deputy Director of Education, So thank you so much for joining us today, and we are excited to hear about Cranfield University and your offer to the scholarship.
Thank you, Trinidad. It is a pleasure to be here today and to tell you about Cranfield University and what we can offer you. Cranfield University is very excited, very proud to be part of this initiative together with the British Council. I just wanted to mention that I speak Portuguese, Spanish, and English. So you can ask me things in those languages, but I tend to reply in English. So a little bit about Cranfield University. Next slide, please. So we're an exclusively postgraduate university in the UK. It means we only offer master's and PhD degrees, and we are creating leaders in technology and management. We are located at the heart, previous slide, please. We are located at the heart of the Cambridge-Oxford arc, where you can find the highest concentration of research and development countries in the UK. It's actually been named the British Silicon Valley, where these industries are collaborating very closely with the ARC Universities Group, which we are part of. And this represents unmatched opportunities for our students during and after their degrees. So we're about a 30-minute train ride from the central of London, and we're located between the cities of Milton Keynes and Bedford. Next slide, please. So Cranfield University is a campus-based university. We have extensive grounds with lots of green spaces, and we need them for our extensive research facilities. So our students can enjoy the best of both worlds. They can live in the English countryside on a campus-based university where it's 5 minutes to walk from your accommodation to your classroom, and then you're a 30-minute train ride to the center of London. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, we create leaders in technology and management. We're an extremely specialized university, and these are the areas we're specialized in. So aerospace, defense and security, energy and power, environment and agri-food, manufacturing, transport systems, water, and management. Today, we'll be speaking mainly about our School of Water, Energy and Environment, because the majority of our programs eligible for this scholarship are from this school. Next slide, please. So just some key facts very quickly about Cranfield University. We have been awarded 6 Queen Anniversary Prizes, which is one of the highest honors in the UK to receive. We are number 1 in UK for research income, and this means our researchers are able to apply for funding and obtain it to fund their own projects and research. We have an excellent staff to student ratio. So we have a member of staff for 8 students, but this improves when we speak about academic to student ratio. We have 1 member of academic staff to 5 students. So you can see it's a very personalized, very close type of teaching. And 96% of our graduates are either employed or in future study within 6 months of graduating. Next slide, please. We are ranked in the world top 50 of the QS rankings for engineering, mechanical, aeronautical, and manufacturing. So all the degrees you're going to hear about today fall within this ranking. And next slide, please. And I'm going to pass on to my colleague, Dr. Jill, that she will explain to you about the programs we offer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sandra. as you mentioned, I am the Deputy Director of Education for the School of Water, Energy and Environment. And I'm really pleased to say that we have quite a number of courses that are eligible for the scholarship. So I don't have time to go through all of them individually, but you will see that we have on the slides, we have the courses listed. And if you are interested in learning more about the individual courses, please do go to our website or get in touch with either me or Sandra. So firstly, what I'm going to do is to focus on the courses that are within our energy and power theme. And the courses are listed there. And we range from the full energy spectrum, so covering courses such as offshore engineering, which looks at the traditional oil and gas technologies, right through to renewable energy, and also our new Advanced Digital Energy Systems MSc. So if I could have the next slide, please. One of the things that Cranfield is especially good at is having some really unique facilities and equipment that our students are able to access. So for example, we have a structural integrity laboratory, and this is where we are able to test the strength of different types of materials. So this lab has been used, for example, to test the strength and when wind turbine blades might shatter or break. We can also test corrosion in offshore environments. Our energy technology lab, we actually have students in there who are looking at combustion and different types of inputs into our combustion systems and how that impacts the power that we can generate using different types of materials within those systems. We also have capability to look at how does different types of material actually impact on the combustion, the combustor itself. Next slide, please. Our process systems engineering laboratory, again, this is a world-class and quite specialist laboratory. And what we can do here is we can construct scaled replicas of oil and gas pipelines. So we can look to test and incorporate and look at the impacts of different combinations such as oil and water or oil and sand, and how those might interact within different types of pipelines. Within the Process Systems Engineering Laboratory, we also have a wave tank where we can test offshore energy devices such as wave or tidal devices. And we also have an electrical machine test and validation laboratory where we're testing different types of sensors and how they utilize and store energy. Can I have the next slide, please? Moving on to our environment and agri-food theme. So here we have 6 different courses, which are from engineering courses through to more management focused, and also those that focus on agri-food, so agricultural systems and food, and looking much into how can we be more sustainable in the production of food. So the next slide, please. Oh, we seem to have lost a few slides. Thank you. Thank you, that's fine. That's what I was looking for. So again, the students who are on the environment and agri-food courses, you'll get access to our specialist environmental analytical facility where we are able to undertake a number of different tests using techniques such as GCMS. We also have a specialist greenhouse where we can test and grow plants under different conditions. Next slide, please. We have the field laboratory where we're looking at different atmospheric conditions, and we also have a number of different wind tunnels on site where we can do a variety of different tests within controlled conditions. The water theme is very much focused on how do we safely use and treat water, and we have 3 MSc courses within the water theme. So the water and wastewater engineering is very much about how do we treat water, and water management, advanced water management is a much more general MSc degree. If you could move on to the next slide. Another unique facility at Cranfield is our pilot plant hall. Cranfield actually has our own sewage treatment works, which treats all the wastewater from the campus. So we're actually able to test a number of different technologies actually on campus. We also have a number of other treatment technologies and laboratories situated throughout Cranfield. So we're able to do a number of both chemical and biological tests on different wastewater treatment technologies. Finally, on to the next set of facilities, we have our urban observatory, or our living lab, which is associated with our Water Science Institute. And what we're doing with the living lab is we're setting up a number of sensors in and around the campus, where we're monitoring lots of different environmental parameters, including things such as the weather, but also local pollution sources. And this is very much part of many student projects. So, for example, I had a student last year who was working on looking at the impact of air pollution on urban agriculture. So vegetables grown within the Milton Keynes city. So moving on to the next slide, we also have our manufacturing system theme. So this is actually outside of the current school, in our sister school, which is called the School of Aerospace Transport and Manufacturing. And here we have the Management and Information Systems MSc and Engineering and Management of Manufacturing Systems MScs as well, which are eligible for this. So the next slide, please. At Cranfield, we do also have a variety of different types of accommodation for you. So we have traditional halls of residences, but equally, Cranfield has historically been a site for the Royal Air Force, and so we have a number of houses on site that are actually suitable for families. So if you were to travel to campus to Cranfield, you could be housed in a house with your family. We do also have an on-campus nursery and a preschool, a number of different types of sports facilities, and we have on-site coffee shops, food outlets, and a supermarket. We also have a variety of student support services, and they can do things such as assist you in finding school places and so on. And what we're also offering as part of this scholarship is each of the scholarship holders will be linked with a senior academic who will act as a mentor throughout their time at Cranfield to help them through the process on the academic side. So final slide just includes the contact details for Sandra. So if you want to get in touch and ask more questions, please do get in touch with Sandra, and she can also help direct you to other members of staff at Cranfield who can assist. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sandra and Jill, for the fantastic presentation. I am very impressed about all the water management that you are dealing with at Cranfield. The technology that you have available is just impressive. So now that we have finished with the presentation from both universities, I will open the session of Q&A. I will be addressing many of the questions that have come in through the public chat, but I will be giving the floor to both universities for certain questions that are specifically focused towards the universities. So one of the questions that has come up is related to the age limit. No, there is no age limit to apply, so please do not let this be an impediment to apply. Some people have asked if you can apply to more than one university or more of one course. The answer is yes. You can go ahead and apply to as many courses as the ones that you're interested in, but it is important to point out that if you have been shortlisted by more than one university, you will be required to answer and choose the university of your preference as soon as possible. because universities will need to have that information to give the opportunity to other applicants. How many scholarships are available? In the Americas region, there are 46 scholarships available, and there are no countries attached to these scholarships. So we cannot know exactly how many scholars are going to be from each country, the 8 eligible countries I mentioned earlier in the presentation. Regarding the pre-sessional English courses, all universities have this available free of charge through this scholarship in case you do need a little bit of reinforcement courses before you start your master's program. But please refer to each university regarding the details. Some universities have already decided they will be 100% online due to COVID restrictions. Somebody asked about a PhD. And right now, this opportunity is only for a master's degree. I would like to address one more question before I give the floor. Regarding traveling with children and spouses, the scholarship does give additional economical support for those women traveling with children. And we would also be supporting you to process the visa for dependents. Those of you wishing to travel with spouses, we will not be able to help you with this. Depending on the country you're from, it is easier or not as easy to be able to travel with your spouse. But there's also tourist visas and such, but that we would have to see that in a case-by-case scenario if you are shortlisted or if you have been granted the scholarship. I do want to go on to some questions. So first of all, if Durham can answer, and then Cranfield. The question was related to official translations of transcripts, if these have to be done by a certified translator, and also if they have to legalize or get it apostilled. So any information regarding that would be great.
Yes, so all the documents you submit that are not in English, they'll need to be translated by a legal translator. And we have some guidelines in case you're not really sure what that means. Get in touch with us and we'll point you in the right direction with what the translation will need to include to be a legalized translation.
Thank you, Ana Maria. Sandra?
Same for Cranfield. We require a legal translation, but there's no need for an apostille. We just require the stamp of the translator.
Fantastic. There's a really interesting question as well relating the deadlines for each university. I would like to point out that several universities have already mentioned that although they have a deadline for their scholarship, they should be applying at least a couple of weeks before that in order to be accepted at a master's degree before applying to the scholarship. So Sandra, could you please address how that would work for Cranfield first?
Yes, I've seen some questions in the chat as well, so I hope this answers those questions as well. So to apply to the scholarship, the applicant needs to submit an application first to the program of choice. If you meet our entry requirements, you'll get a student ID number, and then you can submit a separate application to the scholarship. It's important that you pay extra attention to the application of the scholarship because that is your presentation card for us. We will make our decision on the selection of the applicant based on what you tell us about you. So this is not the time to be modest. Do brag about your achievements and your plans.
Thank you, Sandra. Ana Maria, Kate, anything to add from your university?
So for us, the deadline for the scholarship that we have currently is midnight on the 5th of April. But we do encourage everyone you kind of have to think of all of the different steps before that. So they're going to need to maybe start thinking about booking an English class now. Also putting together all of the documents for the academic application, and just really thinking about on the scholarship application, there are questions about that are going to help us to kind of shortlist the applicants. about how they're going to kind of take this forward, how they're going to inspire other people, women going into kind of STEM. So they need to kind of think about putting their best possible answers together. And I think it's better to start looking at all of that and preparing that now. Don't leave it until, you know, the 4th of April for us. Just really get prepared and do the strongest applications that you can.
Yes, sorry, Trinidad. Just to mention that the deadline for Cranfield is also the 5th of April.
Mm-hmm.
And I just
Fantastic.
wanted to add
Yes.
something. When you submit an academic application to Durham University, you don't necessarily have to wait until you hear back from us in case you want to start your scholarship application. That will be fine. So you don't need to, you can use that time to start preparing your scholarship application. And if it's ready, you can still submit that. But of course, you'll need to have received an offer from Durham to be considered for the scholarship.
Fantastic. Several questions have been coming in regarding if Durham University and Cranfield University accept conditional offers from the masters, related mainly because some of them haven't although they've finished their studies, they still haven't received their diploma, or others don't have yet an IELTS or a TOEFL result. So I know that some universities are accepting conditional offers and they can solve those problems later, but others are being very strict and they have to already have proof of English language. So maybe if Durham can address this first, please.
Do you want to go on?
You can go, and I can.
Okay, so we have students already that are applying, which is fantastic. And just to say, the amount of queries that are coming in now on the chat is really great. It's so good to see all of the interest. A lot of our applicants aren't able to get their final certificate yet. And particularly for kind of Mexico, for example, the final certificate can be quite a bit later. And so we have that already with our, oh, I think my video is off. Sorry, we have that already with our applicants that apply in previous years and for this scholarship. We're not worried that you're not going to be eligible for this reason. It should be totally fine. You can usually get something explaining from your university that that you have completed, get your kind of grades to us. And we can usually use that if we can't get the final certificate. The IELTS or other English test will be covered if you're successful getting the scholarship. You will be able to kind of get that English test covered, but we do need to kind of know what level you are roughly. If you have an old test, we've said we'll kind of accept that just to see where you are and see if you can go on to one of the pre-sessionals, for example. But if you are looking at kind of going for tests and trying to book soon, that would be really great, just in order for us to be able to kind of process quicker.
You can still submit your academic application without the English test for now, but we do encourage you to book a test as soon as you can.
Thank you. Sandra?
Yes, it's similar to Cranfield. We'll accept the transcript to start the process. We can also accept a letter from your university confirming that you have graduated and your graduation ceremony is in the future. Regarding the English language, you can apply without the English language test. Similar to Durham, we need to know to have a way to evaluate your level. We are looking for applicants that can meet our 10 weeks pre-sessional requirements. And for the shortlisted or the selected candidates, we will look for a way to either test them either externally or internally at Cranfield to evaluate their level. But we strongly encourage the applicants to start working on their English level if it's not at the right level yet, because academic English takes some time to achieve. It's not achievable in a couple of weeks or months. So please do start and working on your English skills.
Yes, that's very important. I also wanted to mention something that that has been asked in each session is, will we have the opportunity of applying next year? And the answer is that we don't know at this point. We have not been confirmed that there will be a second session of British Council Scholarships for Women in STEM. And even if we do have a second generation, we can't guarantee it's going to be with the same university. So we really encourage everybody to try to apply this year and make their best effort to get those applications through. I do have an additional question that I think is interesting. So Sandra, maybe you could address it before, is what is the university requiring to be able to prove the financial need of applying for the scholarship?
So we have created a form with a couple of questions, and that each candidate needs to reply, and we'll assess the economical need based on those replies. So we don't require any personal documents, bank statements, but we will assess the financial needs through that form.
Fantastic, thank you. And what about in the University of Durham?
It will be the same. So we also have our own scholarship application form, and you'll have some questions related there, but we don't expect you to submit any sort of other evidence. If we do need anything else from you, we'll get in touch.
Fantastic. So that sounds like pretty straightforward from both universities. Somebody also asked about nurseries nearby. If I'm not mistaken, Cranfield did mention it, but I'm not sure if Durham in your presentation, did you give any, if there are nurseries?
Yeah, sorry. As part of Euston College, that's the one that a lot of our postgraduate students go with. We have family accommodation there, and they also help you to get places in nurseries or schools nearby. So all of our postgrad students have that available, and not just for this scholarship, but across all of the students that come to us.
Fantastic. Well, does anybody have any closing remarks just to get everybody enthusiastic and out there to apply?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, we all want to say something. I think it's one of the most fantastic opportunities that I've seen come up in a long time. I think the British Council have done an amazing job, and there's a lot of interest, but equally, you should just put yourself forward. Don't feel like you should hold back. This could be your time. This could be the right step for you for the next part of your career. It's a full, very generous scholarship, and it comes with a host of opportunities for all of the universities that are talking this week. And I just think that you really need to go for it. If anyone sat there and they have doubts because they think, oh, maybe I won't, make the grade or kind of be the right scholar, you don't know. You don't know unless you put yourself forward.
Mm-hmm. Sandra?
Yes, I think Kate said most of it, but what I wanted to highlight is do put effort in your form, in your submission, because that's what we'll use to select the applicants. So as I said, I know it's a cultural thing to be modest and not wanting to stand out. Forget about all that. This is your time to shine, to talk about what you achieve, what are your greatest strengths, what are your projects for the future. So do brag, do be, proud of who you are and what you achieved, and tell us about it.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I also wanted to mention that somebody was asking about how if they would be able to request for a loan before asking for the scholarship. And really, the scholarship does not even require you to get a loan. As Kate was mentioning, it is extremely generous scholarship, and thanks to all of the universities that are working so hard together with the British Council to give this opportunity to over 100 women in the world and over 40 women in the Americas that will be joining all of your universities to be able to attend. So any additional inquiries, you can also contact uk.scholarships@britishcouncil.org. We're trying to get through all those emails. There are hundreds of emails coming in from all three regions. But definitely, I just want to not only thank everybody here today, but also really encourage you to go to the website, go to the courses that you wish to study, and just follow the instructions that each university has, because they are sometimes very different from one to another. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope everybody enjoyed the webinar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Muchas gracias.